Welcome. Check out our intuitive no-code API builder for secure and rapid deployment. Seamlessly connect and host your database with ease. Watch as your data transforms into secure, scalable, and ready-to-use API endpoints, all without writing a single line of code. These endpoints are connected to a small React-based web app through the Logiblox API to demonstrate its simplicity and potential. Let's have a look. Initially, the front end gets the data from the back end and displays it. Then you can create, update, or delete data entries as required. Let's have a look behind the scenes. As a first step, we created a small sample database on Logiblox to work with. Alternatively, you could also connect to your existing data source through one of the available Logiblox data connectors. Note how changes in the database are directly reflected in the web app. The API endpoints were automatically created upon the import or creation of the database in Logiblox. The documentation is accessed by clicking on the plug icon on the bottom right of the data object. As you can see, 5 different endpoints were generated, ready to use. These endpoints modify or pull data from that database. You can test these endpoints directly in Logiblox. Select the one you'd like to test, click on the Try It Out button and execute. As you can see, the first endpoint retrieves all the data from the database. Now, let's add James Bond as a new lead to our database. Because we accidentally insert a small typo, we'll also need to correct the entry and as a final step delete it again. Great! You can see the new entry in the app. Let's go back and correct the first name. In other words, we need to update an existing entry in our database. Now it looks better. It is also very easy to share your API endpoints and documentation with external users or customers. In the API settings, you can create new API keys or change the access rights for existing keys. For example, the test1 key was used in the dummy frontend we've been using throughout this video. If we now disable this token and switch over to the app, it is no longer possible to access the database. As you can see, no data could be fetched. Finally, let's have a look at the public documentation. Copy the previously created key from the API settings and click on Public API Documentation. Anyone with the access key can read and test the endpoints that are associated to it. In the next video, we'll show you how you can build advanced API endpoints with the Logic Builder and how granularly you can manage the API access in larger projects. Congratulations on making it this far. We'd like to invite you to check out the sample front end yourself. Head over to our public GitHub repository. Clone it and follow the README instructions carefully to connect this front end to your own Logiblox backend. You just need to specify your personal API credentials and start the app.